Are you leading people or leading an organization? I'm going to share with you one of the biggest elements that will measure your success. Being a great manager, and if you manage other managers, making sure your team is full of great managers. We've all heard the saying that people don't leave jobs, they leave managers, and I have certainly seen that, and I bet you have too. What are the characteristics that make someone a great manager? Generally, it involves great communication, being really clear on expectations, and giving honest and fair and balanced feedback, being as transparent as possible, as human as possible, being willing to admit our own mistakes and that we learn more every day, being reasonable and flexible, and understanding that everyone on your team have different strengths and weaknesses, different levels of experience, different needs. So in my last video, I was mentioning that I was most recently in an organization where there were 5 layers of management. So we had a lot of managers that were in my organization. And one piece of advice that I would give anyone that's coming into a new team and leading an organization is making sure that you've got great managers. You can think about it as if you're rehiring them. Being a great manager starts at the beginning of that annual performance cycle, being super clear about what it's going to take for that individual to be successful in the coming year. As specific and measurable as possible so that as you have your check-ins throughout the year, you're both on the same page on if things are tracking, not tracking, or if the plan needs to change for whatever reason. That manager better be taking time with their individual folks on the team and as a group. In my area, we always had at least 30-minute once a week one-on-ones, or alternately, folks on my staff could ask for a 1-hour one-on-one, but every other week. And it was really that individual's opportunity to use that time however they best wanted to. Where could I help them? Did they need coaching, advice? Was it time to talk about career or a particular challenge they were dealing with? So I really let them lead the agenda for the most part. One of the scenarios that I saw that was the epitome of a not great manager was it came to annual performance review time, and someone who reported to me said, oh, so-and-so on my team has really not been pulling their weight. They're not hitting their milestones. And yeah, I don't think that they are going to get a very good review. I recommend them for, a below average review. And I would ask them, okay, so does that person know all this? Have you been discussing it and you've been working on improving it? The manager said, oh yeah, absolutely. We've been having all these conversations and they know exactly where things stand. Well, trusted that manager was saying the truth, and maybe they thought they were being honest in all of it. Fast forward to when the individual received that information, and they were so surprised. They weren't just a little surprised. Their feedback to me was the conversation that they had had with that manager was that everything was great. That person was even on track for a promotion. And so you can imagine the implications once this person was so surprised. Before too long, as soon as they were able to find another job, they were out of there. Not only did I lose someone who was actually a fairly good performer, they went and told all of their colleagues how unfair the organization was, how they were treated so poorly. And I can't disagree that this person was treated poorly. Took that manager aside and said, this can absolutely not ever happen again. It's unacceptable. One of the things that we started doing was having quarterly talent conversations with the entire manager community. And so it gave other managers, all of the managers, an opportunity to hear conversations about different individuals. And the team works across, sub-segments of the team quite regularly. So someone would say, so-and-so is not pulling their weight. And you would have 1, 2, or 3 other people say, that's not my experience. I think they've done this, that, and the other that's been above and beyond. And so it was a great way for open dialogue, a better way to get more insight, and also a way to make sure that these managers were giving, updates to their folks on how things were going. I made it very clear that surprises between a manager and their direct report was something that I just saw as a huge red flag, and something that would show up in their performance review, because being a great manager was one of the most critical elements that I was looking for on the team. So again, if you're in a leadership role or if you're managing managers, do a really thorough assessment of how solid your individual management skills are and those on your team. Many individuals become managers because they're good at the individual work and they haven't been trained, and they may not have the skills that it really takes to be a good manager. Being able to give someone difficult feedback is not a comfortable thing. It's something that I actually do struggle with. I have seen the ramifications of not giving that honest feedback, so I do it, but I really have to prepare for it, and it does not come naturally. And so that's my second piece of advice for all of you.